Hey guys, it's Davin here with the House Hacker Tribe, and today we're going to be going over how to get a mortgage, but more specifically, how to get a mortgage the right way. Because on this channel, there's always the simple way to do things, and then there's always the little details that help you optimize it. So we're just going to go over the process of getting a mortgage and what some people believe it is versus what it actually looks like. So in getting a mortgage, there's the pre-qualification phase and the pre-approval phase. The pre-qualification phase is when you have not gone through underwriting, and the approval phase is when you have gone through underwriting. And so you want to understand the underwriting process from the beginning. And so when you're asking your bank that you go to about the mortgage terms, don't just assume that whatever terms that they give you are standard. You can actually shop around that is a place that is not at your bank and is actually recommended. Your bank might give you a discount, but interest rates are actually not the only thing that you should be shopping around for. An eighth of a percent of an interest rate is not nearly as valuable as the loan closing on time. Because if the loan closes late and you have a $10,000 escrow deposit that is on the line to be lost and your bank causes you to lose that, I'm sure you're not worried about that extra $5 a month that you would have been saving. So shopping around and making sure that your bank is an honest, reliable bank is super important. And another note is that, like, if you bank, let's just say with Chase Bank, you might not want the bank that holds your checking account to also hold your mortgage, because should you not pay your mortgage payment, you don't want your money literally held in the place of the person who's going to be really mad at you if you don't pay your mortgage. So this is something that a lot of people actually consider when they're shopping for a mortgage, who have maybe purchased multiple houses in the past. Is what they'll do is they'll shop through a mortgage broker. Or what they're hoping is that that mortgage broker is going to sell their loan to a place that is not their bank. Obviously, it's out of their control, but it at least gives you a higher likelihood than just going directly to your bank. And a mortgage broker is going to be able to close a lot faster. They specialize in loans. And depending on the relationship that your realtor has with their loan officers or their mortgage brokers, I can call my mortgage broker on a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and they're going to pick up the phone. They're going to say, "Hey, Davin, you probably have a problem. What's going on? How can I fix it?" Versus at your bank, if you call up Wells Fargo on a Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to actually just ask you to go ahead, try that this week, and see what kind of customer service you get. It's not that I'm anti-Wells Fargo. It's just that when you've got a lot of money on the line in a real estate transaction, you want to make sure that you're going to get the loan that you need. So shopping around, making sure that you have terms that are acceptable within your market and they're competitive. So if the homeowners in your market are asking for a 30-day close, don't shop around at banks that ask for a 45-day close. Only consider banks and resources that are willing to shop around within that 30-day window. Now, I did mention interest rate. You should be competitive on interest rate, but you shouldn't just shop the bottom dollar. If you see an ad for like a 1.9% interest rate in a market where par, so par is the average interest rate that where the bank doesn't really make a profit off of you, it's just whatever they're getting the money for. A par interest rate is a lot better than going with, if the par interest rate is 3, you don't want to be shopping around at a 1.9% interest rate, because they're probably doing some type of a bait and switch situation. And you also don't want to be at the other end of the spectrum. If par is about 3%, you can go to maybe about 3.25%, and that's still a competitive rate. But as soon as you start seeing 5%, 6%, 7%, you got to be a little bit worried, where you're like, okay, I'm getting pretty far away from par. Why am I so far away from par? That might be what's called a private money lender or a hard money lender. And in most circumstances, I do not recommend a long-term solution with a hard money lender. Unless you're an advanced realtor and you know what you're doing and you understand the risks, stay away from hard money, go with a traditional lender. There's plenty of lenders in town that are, especially in Vegas, that are reliable, want to do a good job, and they genuinely want to save you money. That is their goal at the end of the day. Their goal is to balance the risks versus rewards and get you the best payment that they can possibly get you. So a good loan officer and a good realtor, they're actually not the bank, right? The loan officer isn't the bank. He's actually a sales rep for the bank, and he actually helps you negotiate against the bank so you can get the best loan product you can possibly get. So that kind of goes into the next topic, is when you're actually making offers on properties. You're not going to get that pre-approval until you've actually gone into contract with a seller. So when you get in contract with a seller, problems arise. Some real estate transactions are perfect and they're seamless. Very few are though. There's usually repairs or things that happen with the property. And instead of asking for things that are unrealistic from your seller, obviously you should be negotiating on price to a certain degree with the seller to make sure that you're not getting completely screwed on the price. But if the price is the only thing that you're negotiating on, you're going to lose because there's all these other terms that affect your loan balance. So if you know a good realtor and loan officer who understand how to get more cheap money from the bank and have less down payment out of your pocket, that is a really good person to have. Or a person that can help you avoid PMI or other expenses that can be tacked onto your loan and little fees that can just kind of get at you and increase your payment in an unnecessary way. So using somebody that actually understands how to negotiate against the bank and can give you those tips and pointers is one of the best things that I can advise, because a person who's buying their first home very rarely understands the loan process and the fees and why the fees exist enough to negotiate against the bank in a way that really puts them out on top. So get some advisors that are in your corner that you can trust. Don't feel like you just have to go with your bank, and make sure that your rate is competitive and that your terms are competitive. But other than that, the loan shopping process isn't too complicated. If you talk to 2 or 3 people, you should find one that you kind of can trust and that works well on your pace that you like to work with. And that's really what you should be going with. If you see anything that's really outside of the ballpark, that's your red flag to go somewhere else. So very few times does someone talk to 2 or 3 lenders and not find somebody that is able to provide something that's competitive. If you can find something that's right in the middle as far as the price point on the interest rate, and as far as the terms that they allow and offer and the things that they're willing to give up and trade out for other features of the loan, that's something that's going to give you probably the best flexibility and chances for success. So that's how you shop around for a loan. I know it's a little bit complicated because we didn't talk about all of the aspects of a loan. So if you're curious on what interest is or how it affects your loan, make sure you watch some of our previous videos, and we'll talk more about loans and real estate and financing real estate in our future videos. So make sure you subscribe, ask comments down below, because we use your comments to create ideas for our next videos. Thanks and have a great day.